The logistics of warp speed.
Nope.
The tactical stupidity of putting your base on a monster-filled ice planet.
Lando Calrissian as an ideal version of Machiavelli's prince.
No to both.
Okay, something about Star Wars.
Jawas as a metaphor for the Armenian genocide. Somehow.
No. But that's a good idea.
No, it's not.
If it's possible to have sex with someone across the room using only the Force.
Sub-question, is that technically cheating if you're in a relationship when it happens?
No.
Okay, so what specifically?
Michael wants to talk about Star Wars, but he's making us guess the exact aspect. How improbable it is that Imperial crew members have British accents.
Nay.
Something about how Chewie can fly a ship like a man but doesn't have to wear pants like an animal. That was a no.
That was a no.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. My wiener
Oh,
is...
women.
Nailed it.
Right.
Okay, Soren and Dan. When you were kids, were there Star Wars characters that you wanted to grow up to be? Role models?
Han Solo drives an awesome spaceship, gets the girl, badass space cowboy for hire.
Yeah, but Han's off the table.
Okay, Luke. He grew up on a farm in poverty, but through training and discipline, he learned to be one of the most powerful men in the universe. It's the American dream.
Tatooinean dream, but Luke's out too.
Yoda, he's wise and badass despite an unfortunate baldness.
Obi-Wan. He's an immortal Jedi Knight.
Akbar, he's wily.
Boba Fett.
Boba
Now, Katie, what Star Wars character did you want to grow up to be?
Leia.
And Leia's off the table. You can't think of anybody
No, I
because
can't.
literally every other female character is a dancing space alien.
Yikes.
In Star Wars, a boy can grow up to be a knight or a wizard, but if you're a girl, you have one good role model, one good, sexy role model. But you better be born a princess or good at space hooking, because those are your options. Or you could be Luke's Aunt Beru, but what did she ever do? And if you say she murdered the Emperor's son or brought Jesus to the Jawas or any other frickin' thing that starts with in the extended universe.
Okay, let's name all of the women in the Holy Trilogy. Daniel?
Leia, Beru, Jabba's bluish slave girl, the formerly animatronic, currently CG Max Rebo singer, and woman who gives the rebels their instructions in Return of the Jedi, whatever her name is.
The majority of those being strippers. That's like 3.5 women across 3 movies.
I watched 3.5 women strip. Still better than just one black guy in the entire universe.
What about Vader's voice?
Touche. 1.5.
I'd watch 1.5 black men strip.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry, are we just gonna pretend like Dan doesn't know the name of the other character?
The point being, Lucas.
He's sexist. His ideal government would be a phallocracy.
Phallocracy? Is that what France has?
Phallocracy. It's a government that's run exclusively by men.
So, George Lucas's ideal future, you've got all these species and races living harmoniously. Jawas, Ewoks, fish monsters, people, all working together, but almost no women. Does George Lucas want to get rid of women?
Well, he might not want to get rid of them, but he certainly does have some profound issues with women.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
You put up Leia as a good role model, but even she is a terrible role model.
Oh, whoa. Leia kind of kicks a lot of ass.
Yeah, she's all feisty and gold boobs.
True, but let's talk about Jedi for a second.
She saves Han in Jedi.
In the middle of a rebellion she is leading because, oh, that's right, 2 movies ago, the Empire blew up her home planet.
How does that not command your respect and or arousal?
Thwarting the Empire, crushing evil, avenging her home planet, all of this took a back seat so she could waste time on this impossibly convoluted plot to break Han out of Jabba's. Ooh, it sucks that my home planet got destroyed, but I'm over that now. I'm nothing without my man.
That's a good Leia.
What if George Washington had abandoned his troops to go on a side mission to rescue Martha during the Revolutionary War?
Did that happen? You're the only one that would know.
Wait, wasn't that what The Patriot was about?
Yes, she goes to rescue her boyfriend, but he's part of the rebellion. She's not turning against her gender.
No? Remember, Leia wasn't the only slave girl at Jabba's.
That's true. There were 2 or 3 more.
90% of Lucas's female cast.
And what does Leia do after she gets Han out?
Blows up the palace. Oh!
And everyone in it, including Jabba, and yes, all of those poor slave girls.
She invaded a kingdom, stole his property, and destroyed Jabba. She's a terrorist.
Was Jabba a king?
Hut. He's a hut. Is Hut not a... Do we not have huts in
I think he
society?
was just a crime boss, like the slime godfather.
Greedo Corleone.
He's right.
That wasn't a point.
No, Daniel. Leia abandons her people to stand behind her man, a lying, rude, rightfully imprisoned thief.
Vintage Han.
And once he's safe, it's all eat shit, slave girls. You get to die chained to the corpse of a big slug and salacious crumb.
And she is Lucas's only non-stripping female character. Abandons her people, gets kidnapped, and needs to be rescued by a bunch of men like a cliche damsel in distress. Great role model, Lucas. You know, it might not actually hold up. Mon Mothma wasn't a stripper.
I
and
knew
she
you
didn't
knew her name.
We all knew he knew her name.
Why would you pretend not to know it? What benefit does that
I
give you?
wanted to be able to bring it out when it was like, ooh.
Yeah, was it worth it?
Surprise.
I mean, giving that at the last second there? Is that...
Turns out, no.